You're watching Changeling Gaming. Enjoy the video. Hello everyone, Nary here from Changeling Gaming, somebody me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming at you into the Let's Play episode of Changeling Tale, Grace's Path. So, as you can tell, in the last place we left off, Grace was getting ready to do some incredibly unchristian things to us, and, well, I'm all for that. I am all for that. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right back into it, shall we? And please enjoy. Alright, get my voice warmed up. Alright. Grace pushes me down on my back. When my head hits the wood board, I have a flash of what's about to happen next. She lays down atop me, clasping the back of my head, gliding her long tongue from my lips upon my cheek to my ear, where she whispers, "It's free real estate." No! Damn it, I cannot resist. Oh. Ooh. Can I hunt you, Malcolm? The inside of my ear tingles from her breath. One part of my brain is screaming to take hold of her, but the other side argues to put everything to halt. Hunt me, like prey. I realize I'm flopping around on this ship's floor like a fresh catch. Mine. Oh. That's... okay. She kisses me square on the lips. Everything throbs within me. Oh, mine. Her hands trail down to my knickers, and I have to stop this. I'm just not ready. Grace. I place my hand on hers. We should slow down. Again? Yes. I need time to... To what? I thought you liked me. I don't understand. I do, Grace, truly. I just think we both need to take a step backwards, not to jump in head first. Grace laughs and places her hands on both sides of my face, as if in reassurance. But I like doing things head first. Well, I do too, but... Grace gives me another kiss that lasts entirely too long, eating away my resolve. It's all right. I can be patient. She winks. For a while. Uh-oh. What did you two do down there? Huh? Back on the shore, I let my body dry off in the last rays of the setting sun. Not far away, Grace swims in the shallows as carefree as a dolphin, and I know I've not offended her. I try to relax in the warm sunbeam, but my mind races. Our undersea adventure has left me feeling as unclear about our relationship as the murky waters below. There's still so much happening, so quickly, but if anyone understands me, it's Grace. I'm sure we'll work it out given time. But one thing Grace seems so reluctant to give, for whatever reason. Although I'd be lying to myself if I wasn't feeling a wee bit giddy to see where this goes, too. As she steps out from the loch, I liken Grace to a tidal wave, unrelenting and a force to be reckoned with. Oh, so beautiful. Happy girl. Happy girl. And of course, a hell of a ride. It's been quite a day, hasn't it? It's the understatement of the decade. I can't even wrap my head around it, so instead I find myself wondering where things go from here. Aye, what about tomorrow? What about it? When I wrap my arms around her waist, I'm struck again that I no longer have to tilt my head down to find her wet lips. I kiss them gently. Tomorrow we'll do it. Tomorrow we'll do whatever you want, Grace. Anything? Anything. A sly grin forms on her face. See you tomorrow then, Malcolm. Oh no. What have you done? What have you done? Before I can say anything more, she dives back into the water, out of sight. It leaves me to wonder if that was a promise I ought to have made. I mean, yeah, dude, you're gonna get laid. Oh, come on. Bro fist. Now go take care of your grandma. You've been banging the fish all day. I'm sorry. I still can't think straight, but I try to collect my thoughts well enough to talk to Gran over biscuits and stout stew. It's hard, though. My brain is a pile of mush, nothing like tonight's meal. Did you get over to see the McLeods, dear? Oh, yes, I did. I spent some time helping them with a few tasks. I can tell. You smell like a herring cannery. Oh, I'm so sorry, Gran. I'll wash up tonight, I promise. It's not a bother. You're lucky I fish. Good thing we all like fish. So, and how is she? She's doing alright, all considering. One second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back. Kitty's being silly. Anyway, I can imagine what she's going through. Such a big change. Such a surprise, too. Yes, it definitely was. Wait, what exactly does Gran know? I'm getting nervous and confused. I sympathize. I felt very similar when it happened to me last year. I just about spit out a spoonful of stew. Eh? My eyes must be as large as saucers. Jessie leaving. It's just like when your parents left town. I empathize with with what poor Marion must be going through. I finally released the breath I'd been holding in. News of Jessie's departure certainly traveled quickly through the rumor mill. Oh, yes, of course. Poor Marion. She has such a lot to deal with. Just so much. You're a kind man to look after her, especially with that wily littlest sister of hers. I choke on my last chunk of stale bread. Wily? She's always been a treasure to me, a wee spark of wit. I truly love that Jessie said that lass's sense of humour, but oh, what a handful. I'll say. Well, I have to agree she's quite the what? The catch? She'll keep Marion on her toes, that's for sure. On mine as well, if she ever has another growth spurt. Oh yeah, she's going to. Just keep an eye on Marion, will you? Make sure she's able to adjust comfortably. It's the least we can do after all she did to help me when your grandfather passed. I'm sure I'll find myself with the McLeods quite often, Gran. Wonderful. Marion will be so thrilled. She's so deserving of such a good man's attention. Gran winks and a knot forms in my chest. Oh, Gran, if only you knew. I tried to steer the conversation safely back to church gossip, racking my brain to remember one of Gran's stories on which I can follow up. Speaking of, what's the latest news of Gemma's hunt for a bow? Has her mother's matchmaking efforts borne any fruit? Okay, that'd make it tight. She's trying her best. Imagine it'll work out about as well as Gran matchmaking for me would. Or Grace matchmaking for Marion, for that matter. Albeit for completely different reasons. I wonder will she really follow through. Maggie, that old mare. She started a quilters group that meets on Friday to try to introduce her daughter to some suitors. The suitors? Quilt? She's providing all the homemade hard cordial you can drink. The lads will come out of the woodwork, methinks. Say, perhaps you and the girls would like to join. I crack a smirk at the image of a room full of quilters, staring at Grace as her flippers fumble with a sharp needle. Thanks, but I'll pass, Gran. As for the girls, I can picture Marion being handy with a needle and thread, but Grace, not so much. Let them know. Let them know, at least. Now, will you be a dear and clear the plates? All this excitement has worn me out. It's straight to bed for me. Of course. Good night, Gran. Sleep well, dear. I'm so happy for you. My mouth works, but I don't know what to say to that. When Gran leaves the room, I breathe a sigh of relief. I collect the plates and dip my hands into the soapy basin. It reminds me of being surrounded by the water today. I know I'll see Grace again tomorrow. I have to find a way to figure out what we are. Or if there's even an us. Beyond the fooling around Grace seems so intent on. I also have to make sure Marion finds peace with her sister's changes. With all these tasks, I wonder if I shouldn't write the checklist to keep them all straight. I start your responsibility, chides McGran's voice inside my head. What will be. It's all in the good Lord's hands. But as I scrub the dishes dry, I must admit that I know I'm responsible at least for my part, my choices. Oop. Yeah. If only I knew what I wanted. Yeah, I'm familiar with that feeling. Yeah. Sorry. Oh, okay. What's going on? Oh. At night I dream of the trenches. I'm cold and so hungry. From my mess kit I gorge myself on moldy rations and spoonfuls of molasses. I hear the explosions and gunfire, but I'm completely frozen, immobile. Others around me scream for help, but unable to assist. As the noise grows in intensity, I keep eating and eating, unable to satiate my hunger. Rain starts pouring down, the wet drops pounding on my skin. The rain turns into a downpour, the waters rise, flooding out the trench, and the soldiers can't scramble over the slippery walls to evacuate. Still I eat, scraping every last drop of sweetness out of the molasses jar. When the water reaches my chin, I feel something within me change. My body grows larger, fuller, ballooning out like my stomach could burst. I drop the bottle and notice my hands. My fingers are gone, they've melted into flippers. The mayhem is too much to bear. I dive into the muddy water, now raging like rapids, and swim, and swim, and swim. I never raise my head up out of the torrent, despite the dirty filth that blinds my vision. Instinctively, I have a course I must follow. That's weird. Crazy visions. Horrible visions. Oh. Oop. Okay. Alright, we're waiting. Apparently something pops up. Come on, what is it? Let me see. Come on. I finally emerge. I am alone, treading water in the middle of the dark ocean. No waves crash. No sound can be heard. I am alone. I am still. All is calm and silent. Oh, really? The vacuum of silence causes a ringing in my ears. When I can't fight, it rings and rings until I grab both sides of my head, begging for it to stop. The sticky, sweet flavor of molasses lingers on my tongue as I wake, screaming into my pillow. My body shakes as I check it all over for changes, but nothing is different. I am the same. Rain falls lightly outside. Normally the sound would help me drift off, but tonight it's only an uncomfortable reminder of my dream. The shivers eventually subside, and I try to will myself back to sleep, even though part of me dares not risk it. For the rest of the night, all I can think about is molasses. That's unusual. A strange man, Malcolm. Strange man. Ooh. Are we going to daytime? Yes, we are. It's daytime. Time to go visit the Loch Ness girlfriend. Oh, or so I think. Might have some more drama over at Marion's place. There's that music. Along the footpath to the loch, I pause to take a deep breath. The fresh air fills my lungs, and I try once again to still my mind, pretend that everything is normal. For a few precious hours this morning, it had even felt that way. I'd woken to the smells of fresh scones. They were just like how I remembered them as a lad. Gran's recipe hadn't changed a bit. Next, I went out and tended to the herd. Falling into the familiar rhythm of their handling and care, Hazel made a fuss as usual, all par for the course. Then, well, I went to check on Marion. That's when the illusion began to crack. Her state had improved since yesterday, but she looked like she hadn't slept a wink. We spoke for a spell. Her tone was cordial but terse. We talked over chores and our herds, the upcoming church picnic, and the new quilting club Gran was so keen on. We touched everything, really, except Grace. It was a subject we were both avoiding. In fact, it was as if yesterday hadn't even happened, but we both knew better. In the end, I gifted Marion some of Gran's scones and bid her a good day, reassured that she was doing in some measure better than before. At least for Marion, she could deal with the question of her sister another time. Not so for me. I steel myself and start walking again toward the loch and whatever awaits me there. You'll do whatever you want. But I had made such a sweeping promise. Surely Gran wouldn't milk it for all it's worth. Gran. Oh God, no. Surely Grace wouldn't milk it for all it's worth, would she? Of course she would. That knowledge stirs a cocktail of anxiety, giddiness, and anticipation inside me, stiffer than any pub drink. Ugh, this is what love feels like. As I speak the thought out loud, I can't help but also wonder what Grace feels for me. In a span of just days, she's both withdrawn from me and thrown herself at me, not unlike a strong tide. And despite all her efforts at seduction, despite the many years I've lived beside her, and all the things we have, or we don't have, in common, it doesn't change the fact that we hardly know each other. If I'm being honest, perhaps we don't even know ourselves, or rather the current state of ourselves. I marched toward the water with an open mind, eager to find answers and prepared to face the unexpected. Oh, there's a boat, okay. And clams. When I reach the shore, my eagerness turns to worry. The fishmonger's rowboat is pulled up on the rocks, and Grace is nowhere to be found. Grace? A deep voice responds. When I recognize, I'll bet then a phone will register. Ahoy, Malcolm! Aha! Oh no, what have you done to the fishmonger? Grace, what in God's name are you doing with that thing on your head? And where's the fishmonger?
Oi, 'tis the Markhamy station. Landlubber one that deserves respect. I'll be have you addressing me as captain now.
Look at her ridiculous hat. Then back to her fishy face. I burst out laughing. Grace grins too, but she doesn't miss a beat.
Mock your superior officer, will ye? Then I'll be having you keel-haul this here galleon and swap her poor dainty tempers till she's spotless.
I'm not sure what she means, but I know when not to argue. Very well, Captain MacLeod, ma'am. Just don't throw me in the brig. And you didn't answer my question.
The fishmonger? I reckon he's at the dock right about now, wondering where his boat's gotten off to.
You stole his boat.
Borrowed it, and his hat. It was in the boat, you see. That makes me the captain.
I shake my head. Grace has in many ways matured into a fine young woman-like creature, even if in other ways she has yet to mature. The real captain might disagree.
Avast! I'll have no talk of mutiny within my ranks. But don't fret, I'll have his precious dinghy back by sundown.
Aye, fine. Does that mean we're playing Pirates and Admirals today, Captain Grace? It was a game we school children would play after class. Really just a glorified game of tag with throwing boats. Once caught, the pirate generally met a very wet fate.
Psh, we go after that years ago. Anyway, you wouldn't stand a chance.
She winks, and I know she's right. Alright then, I'll bite. Just what are you up to? Grace beams, and I know I've asked just the question she was waiting for.
Our date today. I was up all night thinking about it, and I came up with lots of ideas.
With that, I can finally ask the question I've been waiting for. Oh, really? What did you have in mind?
I couldn't choose, so instead I figured I'd let you know. I'd let you.
Oh, what are my choices then?
They're right here in front of you.
Pardon? Oh. Is that a fucking jellyfish? She moves out of the way and gestures to the shoreline. Upon closer inspection, I notice not just the boat, but several other objects lining the shore as well. A promise kept. A stack of shells and a pile of something, black and shiny in the sunlight. Is it wriggling? Oh, shudder. I'm sorry, I still don't understand.
Pick one, and that's what we'll do.
But what do they mean?
It'd hardly be a surprise if I told you outright.
Grace is toying with me. I admire her playfulness, but sometimes I wonder if she goes too far. The fishmonger would probably like his boat back after all. Would this really need to be so elaborate?
Is that the way to speak to your girlfriend, particularly one with such sharp teeth?
I concede the point and concede to playing her game. Which one should I choose? Play all of them. The boat. The shiny black thing. Let's do bottom down. What the that is a jellyfish. I approach the inky mass, drawn by curiosity more than anything else. The putrid stench reaches my nose as I get closer. What is that? Ugh, what is it? Something from the sea, I surmise, and despite smelling like death, the small primordial-looking mass is very much alive. Just looking at it gives me the creeps. I turn back to Grace, and her eyes are apparently glittering with excitement. Is that part of her collection? What does she have up her sleeve? Lord have mercy. Oh! What the fuck? Some sort of tendril suddenly rises up towards my foot. I take a sharp step backward, losing my footing on the stones. Yeah!
Malcolm, everything all right?
Fortunately, the only thing hurts is my pride. The black mass quivers victoriously. I just lost my footing.
So is this your choice? I found it really deep.
The eagerness in her voice is plain as day, but I can't shake the feeling that this dark, tentacled, repulsive sea terror would be a better subject of pulp horror story than of a romantic date. On the second thought. Let's see. Suggest something else. Seashells. I pick up the 3 of the shells and wonder just what Grace expects me to do with them. These are, nice.
Well, aren't you just brimming with enthusiasm?
I'm not sure what I'm looking at is all.
Shells, Malcolm. Each one a unique little beauty. I've been collecting them for as long as I can remember.
On closer inspection, they do seem to come in a surprising variety of shapes and colors. I suppose there are worse hobbies to have. This is your collection, then? Grace looks at me like I spoke another language.
This wee stack? These are just the ones I found this morning. The motherlode I keep at home. Maybe I can show it to you sometime.
Her voice drifts off. I can tell yesterday's encounter with Marion still weighs on her. I think I'd like that very much.
Anyway, it's not about the collection, but the collecting. That's where the fun is.
The romantic in me imagines us walking down the beach, side by side, making eyes at each other as we scan the pebbles for pretty shells.
You have to dive deep and leave no rock unturned. The best ones are always hardest to get. You have to work for it.
Oh.
And today you can be my helper.
Ah, so that was her plan. I gently try to persuade her toward the more romantic outing I'd envisioned. I didn't think I'd be much help in the water, Grace. I'm just not built for it the way you are. Maybe we can comb the beach together and take it easy.
Nonsense. A strong, strapping lad like you should have no trouble lifting the rocks these shells hide under.
I opened my mouth again to protest, but stopped myself. I told her we'd do whatever she wanted today. I said what she wants. If this is what she wants, then so be it. Anyway, I can't let her be disillusioned. I better be I better be the strong, strapping lad she thinks I am. Suddenly very body conscious, I pull my shirt off for our swim.
Quit dally-dallying. Come on.
Adorable. Oh, wow, what timing? Okay. Alright, guys, I'm gonna pause it right there. I'm going to, I'm gonna explore the other one next time, see what that is. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to the next video. I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!